Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. My name is Ryan Buck. In this tutorial we'll be covering the Design Staff Hour Estimation Forms, tab 34, ITS Plans. As you can see, this is the new version of the ITS Plan Staff Hour Form. It was released in September of 2023. It looks similar. At the top, you fill out the names of the participants to use the form, and there's areas for a signature and date. Off to the right is a how to use this form. Here's a link to a library of video tutorials covering all the new and updated forms and changes to the staff hour estimation, including this video tutorial. Below is a set of instructions on how to use the form. We'll be covering it in this video tutorial. At the bottom right is my name and my contact information. Please feel free to reach out to me if you need any support or assistance, if you have any questions, or if you have any suggestions on making the forms better, or if you catch any errors in the form, please reach out and I can assist. Now we're going to get into how to use the form, and we're going to go over and cover the line items in tab 34 for the ITS plans. So to start out with, the new format is we're going to enter in project parameters. Now project parameters are units, be it length of the project, quantity of the project, and then some of the tasks rely on complexity of that task. So we'll determine the complexity of that task too. Once we enter in these parameters, the units or the complexity, it's going to recommend have a recommended, the form will calculate a staff hour that is based on an established recommended guidelines for each task. Those guidelines are published in an Excel spreadsheet that is on the Scope and Staff Hour website for download right next to where these forms are located. So check the established guidelines out for more details. Once it calculates a value, the department staff and the consultant staff will have to determine if that calculated value is appropriate for their specific project. So the units and project parameters are based on the scope, and then the calculated value is based on the scope parameters and the guidelines. And then the consultant and department will have to determine if the calculated value is appropriate for the project, or if they need to increase or decrease the hours to cover the effort appropriate for that specific project. So the calculated value is a starting point as for the negotiated value. The department staff and the consultants will still need to negotiate the final effort for that specific project. So anything in red font is meant for the user to input these cells. Anything in black font is either text or a calculation that is not meant to be edited. The grayed out boxes that are for no input. The red shaded boxes have a drop down. All right, so with that, let's get started, and we'll start going each task. Starting with 30.1 is the key sheet and signature sheet. So in this case, for filling this out, we'd select this red tab cell right here, and it asks us a question: is a key sheet required? If it is, that's a yes. We would enter in a 1. If a key sheet's not required, it would be no. It would be a 0. In this case, we'll say yes. It won't let you enter in any other values. You'll get an error if you do. Same thing with the signature sheet. Is a signature sheet required? 1 is a yes, no is a 0. We'll say yes. So you can see that it's calculating 4 hours for a key sheet and 2 hours for a signature sheet. There's also a note here that if a key sheet's not required, then no hours will be given for the signature sheet. So if I have a 0 for the key sheet, it won't give me any hours for the signature sheet. You got to have a key sheet to get hours for the signature sheet. 34.2 is general notes and pay item note sheet. So is this sheet required? We'll say yes for this example project, but if it's a no, you'd leave it at 0 and it would estimate 0 hours. Over here you have a red shaded box and it wants to know what is the estimated complexity of the general notes and pay item note sheet. And that would be simple, standard, or complex. So if it's simple, that would mean that there's not a lot of notes. Maybe they're very generic notes that you copy and paste and use every time. Complex would probably be a huge sheet filled with notes. A lot of them are unique to the project that you're having to spend time typing out. So in this case, we'll do simple, and it suggests 6 hours for that sheet. 34.3 is the project layout sheet. This is in miles, so you can see it's going out to a couple decimal points. Anytime you see that, it's asking for length or area. In this case, it's asking for the length of the project shown on the project layout sheet. We're going to put that in. There's no complexity here, so we'll just say it's 2.5 miles for this example. 34.4, the communication overview sheet. This is based on ITS sites. So if you click the box, it'll say estimated number of ITS sites. Use only when required by department. So if it's not required, then we would leave it at 0. But let's say it is, we can have 4 sites, and I'll recommend some hours for the overview sheet. 34.5, typical and special details. Now these are your details that go in the detail sheets. And right here you can see that we have standard or complex. So you can have standard details or you can have complex details. And if I click the box, it says the estimated number of details that require minor or no engineering analysis. So common details typically used in projects. Let's say for this example, I have 4 of those. Now for complex, I can click the box and it says estimated number of details requiring engineering analysis, unique details that need to be created. Let's say I have 2 of those types of details for this project. You can also look further, and all these definitions are in the staff hour guidelines as well. 35.6, ITS and communication plan sheet. So this is based on the length of the project to be shown on the plan sheet. We'll say we have 2.5 miles. Then I have to say, what is the estimated complexity of the ITS and communications plan sheet? Is it low, mid, or upper? And you can see that these low, mid, or upper, we can actually use our ITS guidelines right here in this tab down here. And this has like low range, what middle range, and what upper means. So once we establish what our project is, we can go and select that. We'll select mid for this example. Then we also have, if the project is not, so this is for linear projects. If the project is non-linear, you would do the number of ITS installations. So you could put just number of installations. So you either have a linear project or you have a non-linear project with the number of installations for this ITS communication plan sheet. All right. 34.7, maintenance of communications plans. This is based on length of project shown on the MOC sheet. All right, we'll just say we've got just 1 mile of the project. All right, and it recommends 10 hours, no complexity. 34.8 is the fiber optic splice diagrams. So in this case, we've got ITS cabinets, and you can see that we've got standard or complex ITS cabinets. So cabinets requiring a standard diagram or cabinets requiring a complex diagram, which would be cross-connection splice junctions. Let's say we have 4 of these and we have 3 of these. All right. Then we also have our master ITS hub shelter. Estimated number of those, we'll just say we have 1. All right. 34.9, grounding and lightning protection plans. This is based on site. So estimated number of sites requiring grounding plans or lightning protection plans. Use this task when standard drawings and interim standards do not address the situation. So if they did, you would just have a 0, but let's just say we have 1 site that we need to. 3410 cross sections. So we've got our ground mount ITS site. So the estimated number of ground mounts. You have your cantilever site, ITS site, estimated number of cantilever mounted ITS sites. Or you can have your span truss, MSE walls, bridge mount, or ITS sites. So full span truss mounts, we'll say we have 3. All right. And as you can see, it's calculating these hours. We've got to determine if they're appropriate for the project and negotiate from there. 3411 hybrid and DMS guide sign data. So this is based on number of hybrid or DMS signs that are imported into the sign program. Say we have 4 for this project. 3412 is the service point details. So this is based on estimated number of ITS cabinets requiring service point details when standard plans are not available. All right. 3413 strain pole schedule, estimated number of strain poles. Say we have 2. 3414 is your temporary traffic control plans. So these are notes. Our temporary traffic control notes are required. Use only when not shown in the roadway TTCP. We'll say yes, they are. And then a detour plan, estimated number of TTCP detour plans required. Use only when not in the roadway. Say 1. And then you can see it'll sum up the total number of estimated hours. This will also sum up column H, and this will sum up I and J as you manually fill in the appropriate hours. That will be your technical subtotal, and then you have your non-technicals, your QA/QC, and your supervision, 34, 15, and 16. These are default on yes as a 1. If you decide not to use them, you could change this to a 0, and it'll zero out the hours. It uses 5% as the base. This you cannot edit this right here, and it's going to calculate 5%. If you want to use something other than 5%, you can. And the way to do that would be, say you wanted to use 7%, you could put it in your documentation file of 7%. You would manually calculate what 7% of 244 is. And you can enter it into this cell right here with the red font right there. So let's just say it's 15, and you would overwrite the calculation 15. Then your negotiated column right here will carry over into your summary sheet for distribution. Again, my name is Ryan Buck. If you have any questions about how to use these forms or have any ideas to improve upon them, please reach out and let me know. Thank you for watching this video tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it.